Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Owen McKendry. We've had a controversial, funny,
Hmm.
bizarre start to the night here in Saudi. Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron has ended in a draw. Um, in the sixth rounds, for the wrestling fans out there, it was kind of reminded me of something you'd see out of a Royal Rumble. Both fighters go over the top rope, and I'll let everyone check out the footage for themselves. But Liam Cameron was able to continue. Ben Whittaker wasn't, and therefore, a lot of people were thinking that the fight should be ruled in Liam Cameron's favor. But the fight has gone to the scorecards and has been able to draw. One fighter had Liam Cameron slightly ahead, one fighter had Ben Whittaker slightly ahead, and one judge, sorry, had it as a draw. So here we are. Owen, what was going through your mind when kind of the fighters went over the top rope and Ben Whittaker kind of didn't get off the floor? What was going through your mind?
I don't know, it's a weird one because obviously it was quite funny, and then it looked like Ben Whittaker was about to pass out. I don't know if I thought maybe people straight away in group chats, people were saying, "Has he broke his leg? What's happened here?" Um, Honestly, I've watched it back about 6 times now, and it sounds mental. Like, I don't know if I'm looking into it too much, but to me, it's a case of as Leon Cameron leans on into him, they get to the ropes. Ben Whittaker sort of throws his head back, so
Mm.
it's almost like he's preparing to go over the ropes. I mean, there's been a lot of talk between the two of them, especially in their face-off. Ben Whittaker saying what he's going to do to Liam Cameron, and he did have some success, but minimal success to be honest. I thought Cameron come out of that definitely the better, but genuinely, like we said off camera, the Tion Gibbs just spitting his mouth guard out every 2 seconds. Other than that, that's genuinely the most bizarre ending to a fight I've ever seen, and the fact Cameron looked ready and good to go. And when you actually look at their positions, Cameron looked worse off. Um, I think the commentary team said they believe Ben Whittaker smacked his Achilles and ankle off the steel steps, but remains to be seen, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, genuinely bizarre. Funny, but
Yeah.
baffling.
Yeah, look, it's live sport and you never know what's going to happen, whether it's boxing, football, basketball, you get some funny things happening every so often. What were your thoughts on the fight itself, Owen? We saw five full rounds. Ben Whittaker was a heavy favorite going into the fight. What did you think of the five rounds that we saw?
I think the way I'd see it is two sides of a coin. You've got Ben Whittaker, who's done nothing for his PR and his model in terms of this fancy showboater, who, when he steps up the levels, he's going to get better and better. And then you've got Leon Cameron, who's just booked himself another 2 to 3 fights, a rematch of Ben Whittaker and then fighting other prospects. We could see him in some decent British level fights as well. I think he gave a good account of himself because, like the commentary said, Leon Cameron. I can't remember which commentator I had it on the BT for stream, and one of the commentators said Leon Cameron he knows exactly what to do and how to do it. It's just sometimes that natural speed and power just isn't there. So he's clearly a decent level boxer, and I think he's come out of that with flying colours. Round three he started to get into it more. Round four, round five, sort of thing. I wouldn't say taken over, but you could see Whitaker almost. He clearly wasn't denting him. And Leon Cameron was taking all his big shots and almost firing back with, "You can't hurt me. I can throw everything at you now." So I think Whitaker, they need to go back to the drawing board. They need the rematch. Ben Whitaker has to have the rematch. He's got to put those demons to bed and he's got to answer a lot of questions. But I honestly think wasn't the most entertaining 5 rounds, but it was interesting just to get a sort of a judge of where Ben Whitaker's at and to look what Leon Cameron can actually do. So although it weren't the best 5 rounds of boxing I've ever seen, it was a telling story to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and it would look. We'll never know what would have happened if the fight had continued, but it was not as advertised. It was advertised.
Yeah.
It was the first meaningful fight on in the bill for a reason. It wasn't. We weren't expected Cameron to kind of win any rounds, let alone kind of
Yeah.
possibly win the fight. So it is an upset. It is a shock in my opinion. We've just not had the result
Mhm.
kind of officially on paper. I was watching the TNT stream as well, Owen, and I know it's Carl. I think it was Carl Frampton said afterwards it'll
Mhm.
be quite telling if Ben Whittaker doesn't take the rematch immediately
Mhm.
with Ian Cameron. Of course, we don't know how long Whittaker's out for. He has just been taken out on a wheelchair. So look, it could be a year out, to be honest. Like we don't know. I'm sure we'll hear more about his injury, his situation in the next couple of days. Do you see, say Ben Whittaker's out for a year? Obviously, I don't think anyone's going to expect Liam Cameron just to kind of wait around for a year for this Ben Whittaker rematch. But do you think whether it's next or whether it's in the future, we will see that rematch take place?
They have to. Um, Purely because Ben Whittaker has talked the fight up, what he's going to do to him, as he does. And he didn't do a single bit of showboating. I think it was almost a case of, I was surprised he didn't start with it, but I think it was a case of from Whittaker, sensible, see what Cameron can do from the first round. And straight away, I think it must have been maybe 25, 30 seconds in. And Ben Whittaker landed a lovely right hand. And Leon Cameron just looked at him like, "Oh, is that all you've got?" sort of thing. So I think nice and early catches him clean, and that was a okay. We can't dance and showboat the way I want to here. So Leon Cameron's going to get some good fights regardless in the next 6 to 12 months on the back of that. But I think Ben Whittaker has to take the rematch.
Yeah.
The split decision draw, and it could definitely have gone in Leon Cameron's favour. So I think they'd be stupid not to, because all Ben Whittaker's then going to get told is if he chooses not to and Leon Cameron's available, you're just going to be told you're the next big star in Britain and you've ducked Leon Cameron. What happens here? So I think, yeah, we'll definitely see that fight again.
Yeah, that's all very fair. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the future. We won't know what would have happened if the fight had continued tonight, which is frustrating. It will be a what if. But yeah, what's happened's happened. We have had a draw between Ben Whittaker and Liam Cameron in the first fight of the night. Owen, thank you very much for your time. I'll let you get on and enjoy some of the card, but I will speak to you again later. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure as always, mate.